Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Shadowbringers. In the last episode, we finished up the Wurlit story quest line, which saw us fighting Diamond Weapon and seeing the liberation of Wurlit. And the whole end of that storyline with Gaius and the orphans, the death of Valens, the destruction of the 7th Imperial Legion, all that stuff. So that is good and done. So, now what we're going to be doing is returning to the main scenario quest, which was updated in the recent 5.55 patch version. So that's what we're going to go start working on, which, if we remember from the last storyline, I think I mentioned it a couple of episodes ago, we cleared Paglathon. The Amalja are now, our allies. Arenvald was severely wounded during the tower investigation. Last we saw him, he was being tended to by the physicians, Hyrugians, and, Astinian has joined the Science as well. So that is kind of where we are at. So, let's head on into the Rising Stones and, see what people have to say. All right, here's the whole crew. Let's talk to Alice and see what we're going to be getting up to. Alice can tell you are itching to take the fight to the Talafroi. Yes. Ah, Ayame, you're looking well. I take it you managed to squeeze in some rest? Sort of. If you call fighting a Imperial weapon a rest. If you came hoping for tidings from Kryl, I'm afraid we're still waiting. Yeah, because Kryl went to Charlian. But we do have some odd scraps of news to share. Okay. Scraps, she says. Lunar primals have been popping up all over the place, but the Alliance has the situation well in hand, thanks in no small part to Hori Boulder and the others. Excellent. Meanwhile, talks with the Beast Tribes are going even better than expected. Encouraged by Ulda's progress with the Amalja, Gridania has opened negotiations with the Ixal, believe it or not. All of which is obviously very encouraging, but with the Talafroi still out there, it's not as if we can afford to lower our guard. Begging your pardon, but I come bearing an invitation from the Alliance. A council meeting is due to be held in Alamigo, and your attendance is humbly requested. We were just talking about the Alliance. May I ask what's on the agenda? I believe the intention is to share news of recent developments and discuss what measures might be taken to combat the Talafroi in concert with our new allies. The Beast Tribes have also been invited. It is hoped that they will join us in the fight against our common foe. So, the Alliance would bring all the Beast Tribes into the fold at a single stroke. An ambitious plan, given the delicacy of the negotiations, but mayhap an expedient one, considering the threat we face. Indeed, my lady. And for their part, I am told the Beast Tribes have agreed to attend. If the Scions too are present, all of Eorzea will be represented. Excellent. To arrange such a meeting must have been quite an undertaking, not only diplomatically, but practically. Pray inform the Alliance that we would be honored to participate. We shall make for Alamigo without delay. And I will bear your answer thither with all haste. We look forward to receiving you at the Royal Palace. Well now, Well, now that we've accepted the invitation, who exactly is going to attend? I move that you and your Stola lead our contingent. Given how long you have worked to end summoning, it is only right that you be present for what promises to be a historic moment. I think we've all played our part in that little endeavor, don't you, Ayame? Certainly. All present may rightly claim a seat. I do quite agree, but by your leave, I believe I shall remain here and lend what assistance I can to the coordination of our defensive efforts. I'm not coming either. Emmerich will be there, and I'd rather not be interrogated. Okay. Very well, then. While those with a mind to hold the fort get on with holding it, I suggest the rest of us make for Alamigo, shall we? Alright, so I guess we are off to Alamigo. Move that back onto frame. There we go. Okay, so always found it easiest to fly through here rather than try to pick my way through this maze. Alright, well there's the whole crew. Let's see if they have anything interesting to say. Graha? Ah, I suppose I am. Oh, responding to something. And the fact that our cure for tempering made it possible only heightens my anticipation. Huh? Honestly, the look on your face, eager to bear witness to another historic moment by any chance? Ah, yeah, that's what she was asking him. Alphino? Even with the swift intervention of the immortal flames, all too many lost their lives at Paglathan. Still closer cooperation between our peoples will be required if we are to thwart the plans of the Talophoroi, right? Yeah, say at least we're going to have the Amalja and the Kobolds on our side, for the most part. So, that'll be something. Stola. Like the city-states, every beast tribe has its factions, each with their own agenda, making peace a complex proposition. If the Alliance can come to an understanding with their leaders, it will be for them to resolve internal politics. Alright, Thancred. The Amalja cannot be the only tribe to have been targeted by the Talophoroi, and none of them will have taken kindly to having their people enslaved, nor their gods turned against them. True. True. Alright, let's talk to the guard. We have been expecting you. While some few guests have yet to arrive, the Alliance leaders are all present. Shall I show you in? Ah, and the Ananta too. Ah, yes, and the Sylphs. Ah. Yeah, it looks like everybody's shown up. Excellent.
Esteemed guests, you honor us with your presence. As there is much to discuss, let us begin.
Information on our taken brethren you have, yes? Hear it we would!
Getting right to the point, I see.
Ah! Beyond forgiveness these featherless ones are! With rivers of blood shall they pay. Freed our people must be!
We too would see your kin liberated. But ere we attempt their rescue, we must first find a means to negate the risk of tempering. Without that, we will be unable even to approach the towers, let alone contend with their defenders.
If all else fails, I've always found cannonballs quite effective.
And what of the prisoners? Would you see them slaughtered?
Think for a moment. Ponder, consider, think. If Merlwyb truly intended to bombard the towers, she would have done so by now. Remember, we came here to find a solution together, did we not?
Y'Stola spoke of defenders. I but offered a means to clear a path, should you require it.
Given the enemy's capabilities, we will all need to play our part if we are to have any chance of success. For if any here should give less than their best, it will be to the cost of every living being on this star.
A paragon, the Empire, our very gods. How can we hope to prevail against such odds?
That our foe is formidable, none would deny. But our strengths are many and varied. In this chamber, I see masters of strategy, masters of magic, masters of the land, the air, and the sea. And together, there is nothing in creation we cannot overcome.
Bold statement. Okay.
I beg your pardon?
What is it, Soulwalker? Do not express your passion thus. A little tricky without gills, perhaps? Suffice it to say, I am proud to be counted amongst Eorzea's finest. We Sahagin will play our part.
We kobolds have not forgotten the crimes the Overdwellers committed against us in the past. But today we look to the future, as allies united in purpose.
Make mock of the Ixal, the Paragon does! Turns kin into puppets, pits brother against brother. Free them from his grasp, we shall!
As Patriarch Zadar will attest, the Scions have granted us a means to free your brethren from their thraldom. This boon we will gladly share, that your people might never be enslaved again.
We accept! We accept!
Praise me!
Well, things seem to be going well for the moment.
It's taken a while, but I do believe we might be one step closer to a world without primals. Would that Minfilia were here to see it.
We still have a long way to go, and we're going to need a lot more Porksies. But we're moving in the right direction.
If I may have your attention, there is one other point I would like to raise. As we can all agree, freeing those held captive must take precedence over every other concern. But experience has taught us that none save those with the capacity to resist tempering can hope to enter the towers unscathed. And even once inside, a still greater threat may yet await them, that which we call a primal. Needless to say, if we are to succeed, engaging with such foes can only ever be considered a last resort. And so I move that we seek to prevent them from being summoned in the first place.
Yes! Both prayer and ether are needed for the ritual. Should either one be denied, the summoning would fail.
Indeed. And so we must endeavor to discover the source of the ether on which the process depends. Do so, and it may present a way to halt the summonings, or perhaps even neutralize the towers entirely.
Interesting.
A promising proposal. While you are conducting your investigations, however, we will need to remain vigilant. lest the Telophoroi commit further abductions and summon primals ere we have the means to prevent them. To stand a better chance of keeping our enemy at bay, we would do well to coordinate our defensive efforts, sending reinforcements to assist our neighbors when needed.
We Amalja would have been overwhelmed were it not for our newfound allies. But say the word, and we shall come.
I see we are all in accord. But what are we to call this proud fellowship of ours? I submit that the honor of naming it should go to the scion whose brave efforts have done so much to unite Eorzea. What say you, my friend?
I mean me. Okay. The Grand Company of Eorzea? Yes, I do remember a certain someone being interested in such a thing.
But that's the name I...
Yes.
A fine choice, for there is none here who does not love Eorzea.
Aye, in that we shall ever be united.
United in our gratitude for the realm that gave us life.
Then let it be recorded that on this day, the Grand Company of Eorzea was born.
How long have we dreamed of this moment? And now that it's here, Oh, forgive me. Might we speak outside?
Okay. Alright, well, we're back outside. Just before we talk to Alphino, what does everybody else have to say? It's a pity it took the threat of annihilation when the caster grievances aside, but better late than never, I suppose. Yeah, pretty much that's what it ends up being. Forgive me for observing, but Alphino seems less than jubilant. Might his thoughts still be occupied with the fate of poor Arenbald? I think it's more about his own failings than anything else. Considering the last time he attempted this, it blew up spectacularly in his face. The Grand Company of Eorzea. I wonder what Riol and the other formal Crystal Braves will make of it. Yes. Cristola? We have won over the leaders. Now the leaders must win over their own people. No small task, I grant you, but we have come a long way since first we joined with Minfilia to bring an end to summoning. A long, long way. Indeed. Alright, Alphino. Well, now that we are out of earshot of the other delegates, I hope you'll forgive me if I speak my mind. Let me begin by saying that I have dreamed of this day since the moment I first set foot upon these shores, and that I was as heartened as anyone to see the peoples of Eorzea pledge their solidarity, yet even as they uttered their declarations, all I could think about was the conflict to come, of the sacrifices that would be made, and the lives lost, inevitabilities that I still struggle to accept. At least now there is hope. The formation of the Grand Company of Eorzea is the first step, the first of many. Many and more. Oh? Ah, Kanisena. Elder Seats here. How might we be of service? I seek Master Alphino's assistance in a matter involving Gridania's neighbors, the Sylphs. Oh? I know that you and yours have long kept a weather eye upon the crystal trade, the better to predict the coming of primals, and so you'll be familiar with the Sylphs of the Ash Crown Consortium. Through their dealings, they have cultivated relations not only with the city-states, but many other communities besides. Communities such as the Beast Tribes. Just so, it is our hope that we may make use of the Sylph's established lines of communication to coordinate the efforts of our new fellowship. Yet there remain certain practical differences between a trade consortium and a grand company. If the Sylphs are to perform their task effectively, they will require the counsel of one versed in the operational aspects of an armed force. An armed force founded with the self-same goal in mind, no less. The Crystal Braves, yes. Forgive me, Master Alphino, I know that it was a painful chapter in your life, but the experience may yet be made to serve the realm. In my hubris, I plotted a course for the Crystal Braves which stretched far beyond the Order's initial conception, when intended to pave a way for the founding of what I intended to call the Grand Company of Eorzea. But my plans all came to naught. Built upon the frail foundation of lofty ideals, the Order was doomed from the first to collapse under the weight of more worldly interests. And I have no wish to see this new endeavor suffer the same fate. Mayhap I asked too much of you? Not at all. You may count upon my assistance for what little it is worth. By your leave, I shall prepare a report including a list of recommendations drawing on the lessons I learned from the failures of the Crystal Braves. You have my gratitude, Master Alphino, and my trust. When your report is ready, pray share it directly with the Sylphs. With your guidance and the earnest efforts of every goodly soul gathered here this day, I have no doubt that our fellowship shall emerge from the shadow of the Telophoroi and flourish. Until next we meet, my friends. Before committing anything to writing, there are a number of people whose thoughts I should like to hear. Former Braves, you understand. Might you join me in seeking them out? As if you have to ask. Thank you. As someone who witnessed the Order's rise and fall, yours would be a reassuring presence. I'll join you. If you're planning to canvass the opinions of your former comrades, it will be a lot quicker if we share the task of questioning them. Mayhap Graha can lend a hand as well. I shall accompany Thancred back to the Rising Stones. Between us, I dare say we should be able to provide an accurate enough account of the day's events. Alright, we should be glad of your company, Graha. I shall explain the details on the way. Yeah, he wasn't around for that. Well, neither was Alice, anyway. Alright, let's see what they have to say. Graha? I take it we will soon be paying the Sylphs a visit? How fascinating. It will be to speak with them in person, though I gather conversation can prove rather challenging. Yeah, they're rather interesting. Alphino? It will not be easy to revisit the past, but sometimes one must look back to see the way forward. Indeed. Alice? So, what's the plan, brother mine? Before discussing the task at hand, I should probably admit that the report I proposed is largely written. Of course it is. Not long after that fateful day in Ul'dah, I penned a detailed account of the organization's history, from the events that led to its inception to the failings that brought about its demise. This I did primarily as a means of taking some semblance of responsibility. Never did I imagine that it might later be referred to by those seeking to form a similar organization. While I made every attempt to be objective, the account was mine alone, its events viewed from my singular perspective. For it to be of use, however, it must be broadened to encompass the viewpoints of all involved. Only then can it answer what seems to me to be the crucial question. Namely, why, after the Crystal Braves disbanded, did some members choose to remain with us while others did not? I see. You think the answer will tell us something about the nature of the ties that bind our new Grand Company together? And this knowledge might help us to prevent it from falling apart when those bonds are inevitably tested. Indeed. That is my hope, but the questions I would ask are uncomfortable to some. As the former commander of the Crystal Braves, I doubt that those who abandon the cause would welcome my inquiries. Then Graha and I will just have to try. Meanwhile, the two of you can talk to the ones who kept the faith. A fine suggestion. Have care, however. Certain of my former comrades are of questionable character, so keep your wits about you and let us reconvene in Gridania later on. Alright, if you have no objections, I have a mind to begin by speaking with Riol and Alian. If memory serves, the two of them will be attending an intelligence briefing at Castrum Oriens. Let us seek them out there. Alright, Castrum Oriens. Let's teleport over there. Alright, Alphina. While such briefings are seldom exciting affairs, their importance in coordinating our efforts with our allies cannot be overstated. In that regard, Alian and Riel have been most dependable. Alright, good. And let's talk to Alian before we talk to Riel. Oh, I didn't expect you to see you here, Ayame. But if you enjoy intelligence briefings, you've come to the right place. Not so sure. Alright, Riel? Well, look who it is, and what brings you two here? Wouldn't have anything to do with the big meeting, would it? In a manner of speaking, I've been assigned a task, you see, for which I require the assistance of former members of the Crystal Braves. And he's going to give him the rundown. So you want to know why we decided to stick with the Scions, eh? Ain't an easy thing to put into words, that. As Riel will attest, I spent a long time agonizing over my failure to alert you to the traitors in our midst. For my negligence, I was captured along with many others, and we were powerless to prevent the tragedies that ensued. Not a day goes by that I do not think back to those fateful events. By joining the Scions, I hope to redeem myself, and I will continue to serve the causes for as long as I am able. That wasn't my only reason. When we were finally reunited in the Rising Zones, you refused to blame anyone but yourself for the fall of the Crystal Braves. In spite of everything that happened, everything you had suffered, you took us back without a moment's hesitation. We would not have blamed you had you turned us away, but when you gave us your trust instead, what else could we do but try to repay it? Nothing, that's what. As for me own tale, well, I've always felt the Science has something in common with me old crew. The duty of the strong is to protect the weak. That was our creed, and I still strive to live by it to this day. But as time's gone on, I've learned that strength comes in many shapes and sizes. From Hoary Boulder to Mistress Totaro, we've all of us got something to offer. That sounds pretty similar to something that we heard good old Gaius say as well. And not one of us is doing it for personal gain, because we believe there's more important things than that. Things worth protecting, which is what being a Scion's all about. I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, my friends. To hear this from you means more than you know. Forgive me, Ayame. Could you? Alright. Why do you think the Crystal Braves ended in failure? Let's see what they have to say to that. Well, it's found that ideals were something to be proud of, but ideals alone don't make a crew. For every swab who signed up with good intentions, there was another who was only in it for the coin, the glory, or both. Yes, I can think of, Yu Yu Hase. One. Ours was quite the disparate band, and while I will never forgive Ilberd, the fact that we managed to function at all was thanks in large part to his efforts. Just a pity he was doing it all for the wrong reasons, eh? Only takes one bad apple, they say, and the Braves had a barrel full of them. Not like the Scions, we might look like a ragtag band of misfits, but deep down, we've all got that shared sense of purpose. And why? Because Tataru sifted out all the glory hunters before they made it through the door. Yeah. Once again, Tataru is the pillar upon which the entire organization stands. I see. So while our ranks comprise a diverse range of people, each with their own individual strengths, we are all united in purpose. Thank you, my friends. With your permission, I shall make a record of our discussion and refer it to when drafting my recommendations. Until we meet again. Yeah, basically, the Crystal Braves took in anybody who agreed to join without any sort of filter or vetting or anything. That's kind of what killed it. All right, Alphino. Well, I think we have taken up enough of our colleagues' time, and I'm conscious that less life-affirming testimonies wait. Let us make our way to Gridania and hear what the others have learned. Alright, speak with Alice in Gridania. Let's head on over there. It looks like that's going to be the Lancers Guild, where they're hanging out. Alright, Graha, what do you have to say? When Alice sets her mind on something, there is no stopping her, and her mind was truly set on finding former Braves. For a while, I even feared what she might do to them, but in the event, she was admirably civil, for the most part. Alright, Alphino. On the way here, I took the opportunity to write up my notes from our conversations with Alian and Riol, and all remains to add Alice and Graha's findings, whatever they may be. Okay, let's see what they have to say. Thanks to Taro's ever-dependable intelligence, we managed to track down a handful of former Braves without any great difficulty. Some were forthright, others less so, but we heard enough to form a picture. I must warn you, Alphino, some of their comments were harsh. I can well imagine, but their opinions are no less vital to my report. I seek the unvarnished truth. We're not going to get it? I think you'll set about adding your findings to my own at once. In the meantime, pray go ahead to Little Solace and seek out Elder Frixio. I will join you anon. I guess we're not going to get the harsh reactions of the other Braves. Let's ask Alphino. Leave me to attending my report and join the others in Little Solace. I shan't keep you waiting. I know how playful the Sylphs can be. Indeed. Little Solace. Been a while since we've been over here. Alright, let's see what Alice and Graha have to say before we talk to Frixio. Think about it. Of the four of us, only you and Alphino have any real experience in conversing with sylphs. Still, it can't be that hard, can it? Though I had the honor of sharing a table with Elder Frixio and Alamigo, I did not have an opportunity to speak with him. I do hope my studies have granted me a sufficient grasp of his people's customs. Alright, Frixio, what do you got? Welcome, Brave One and friends of Brave One. How good it is to see Walking Ones again so soon after the meeting. Should this one perform the customary dance of greeting? No, we'll just say it's been a while since last we spoke. Indeed it has. Though the palace was very pretty, the meeting was far too noisy for this one. So many shouting ones and squawking ones and cheering ones, with no chance for carefree conversation. Still, this one is pleased all ones can be friends. Horned One, Kanisena, said the Walking Ones will be coming to Little Solace. Imperial Ones also invaded Sylph lands and abducted many of these ones. So these ones will be glad to bear messages between fighting friendly ones. That is heartening to hear, Elder. It will require all ones to work in unison to stop the Talafroi. These ones will try very hard, of course, but in matters of war, these ones have little experience. Any advice Walking Ones can provide would be most welcome. Oh, another pretty silver-haired one, and in quite a hurry, it seems. Oh, Alphino. Alice, you must come quickly. Whatever's the matter, Alphino? Don't tell me you couldn't read my handwriting. What? No. A Twin Adder officer accosted me as I was about to set out. Charlian has sent an envoy who is due to arrive in Gridania at any moment. Oh. An envoy? Could it be that Kral has managed to sway the Forum? We shall know soon enough, but there is more. The envoy has requested that the two of us attend the audience with the Elder Seedseer. Really? I can see why they might want Science to be present, but us specifically? Wait, it isn't who I think it is. It is. I can scarce believe it myself, but when I inquired as to the envoy's identity, I was told it was one Fortuno Leveilleur, their father. Your father? Well now, the fact that a serving member of the Forum had journeyed here would be a surprise enough. But him? Quite. I glean from this that they are taking the matter seriously. That may be, but why him and not one of the other 98 Forum members? Unless he volunteered for it. It's been some time since you last saw your father, has it not? Could it be that he is concerned for your well-being? Perhaps. He has always been reluctant to discuss his work with us. Indeed. And whenever we write to our parents, it is invariably our mother who replies. Nevertheless, I welcome the opportunity to meet with him after so long, even if it is secondary to his true purpose here. Elder Frixio, I loathe though I am to cut our visit short, we must return to Gridania. Pray accept my apologies along with my report. Never mind. There will be time to talk later. This one won't keep walking ones from more urgent matters. Go. The audience will be held at the Lotus stand where the Elder Seedseer awaits. Even now, let us be on our way. All right. Actually, it might be just easier to teleport back to Gridania and take the Aethernet there. That would be the Conjurer's Guild is the closest one. Alright, let's go in. Alright, let's see what people have to say before we get into the cutscene. I'm assuming it's a cutscene. Alright, after all this time away, it'll be good to see my father, even if it is at an official meeting. Okay. 99 may seem like a rather lot of members, but before the Forum was founded, every person of age in Charlian was given equal say in its governance. Many of the institutions that are still active today were established by the people's vote, not least the State Studium. As Elise and I were constantly reminded during our time there, it is an example of what can be achieved through absolute democracy. Okay. During my time in Charlian, I learned much of Fortuno Leveilleur. He is a gifted speaker, known amongst other things for the uncompromising application of foreign policy. My friends, I thank you all for coming so swiftly. Word of Master Fortuno's visit took us quite by surprise. When the Alliance granted Mistress Kral permission to request Charlian's aid, we did not anticipate so prompt a reply, much less that it would be delivered by a member of the Forum. What the nature of that reply may be, we shall soon discover. I'm anticipating drama. Let's see. there he is.
Elder Seedseer, I thank you for granting me this audience. I am Fortuno Levea, here in my capacity as representative of the Forum.
It is I who should thank you, Master Fortuno, for journeying so far and so swiftly. Would that our first meeting could have been under happier circumstances.
It has been too long, Father. You look well.
As do you both. Ameliance will be glad to hear that you are taking care of yourselves.
How is Mother?
She misses you terribly, of course, but is otherwise a picture of health. Circumstances apart, I'm grateful that our meeting has afforded me the chance to be reunited with my children at long last. And I believe I also owe you thanks for the hospitality you showed my father, Louisoix, during his sojourn in Eorzea.
All thanks we owe to him. In the days prior to the 7th Umbral Calamity, it was your father's tireless efforts which granted us a means to vanquish the Primals. Were it not for him, our strength would have been quite spent by the time the Empire arrived. That Gridania still stands is in large part his achievement. He was a great man.
He would doubtless have been moved to hear you say so. I must confess, however, that I opposed his decision to intervene. And my position remains unchanged.
Here we go.
To chart the course of history, not to change it. I am familiar with the Sharlayan stance.
It is more than that. It is our way of life, who we are. But I came here not to deliver a lecture, but the Forum's answer to your request. Sharlayan will under no circumstances intervene in the conflict between Eorzea and the Garlean Empire.
May I ask for what reason the Forum has come to this decision? The final days spell the end not only for Eorzea, but the entire world.
The final days? Pray spare me your hyperbole. This conflict is no more than the latest in a series of petty squabbles between yourselves and Garlemald, one in which Sharlayan will take no part. If the final days were truly upon us, we would know.
You would know. Really?
Father, you must ask the Forum to reconsider. You may feel safe on your little island across the waves, but if you imagine the Telophoroi will leave you be, you are mistaken. They mean to kill us all, themselves included.
Alphino is right. We have seen what the enemy is capable of, the lengths to which they'll go. This is no time to turn a blind eye. If Eorzea falls, so too will Sharlayan. So if you truly love our homeland, you will join us. Now, before it's too late.
I thought you knew better than to raise your voice to your elders. It seems I was wrong. Wrong to ever let you leave, Sharlayan. I consoled myself that your time abroad would instill in you some hint of restraint, of discipline. But I see now that Eorzea has made fools of you both. Have you forgotten why it was that I so vehemently opposed your grandfather's departure? For all his wisdom, his only solution was to go to war. Death, devastation, ruin. Even those who claim victory are scarred for life. What prize could ever justify such sacrifice?
Continued existence? Maybe?
It is the duty of the learned to avert such tragedy. By fanning the flames of war, you forsake all you once held dear.
Well, when your opponent gives you no choice, you have no choice. Let's see. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. Indeed.
I see your friend shares your misguided ideals. But unlike her, you should know better.
What's that supposed to mean?
By espousing such barbaric notions, you subvert the teachings of Sharlayan and place all we have worked for in jeopardy. Alphino, Alize, as of this moment, you shall no longer bear the name of Leveilleur.
Well.
What? Father?
How you choose to live your lives is no longer my concern. If you wish to walk the path of ruin, I will not stand in your way.
Master Fortuneau, while Sharlayan may have no intention of intervening in this conflict, we can still part as friends. Will you not stay and speak with us, that we might learn of Sharlayan's hopes for the morrow?
I have said what I came here to say. Any further discussion would be meaningless.
Father! Wait!
Don't bother, Alize!
How can you stand there and watch him walk away? How can you let this happen?
Yeah, there's no swaying him. He's made his decision. Alright, let's see if we can get anybody else's comments on what just happened. It was not so very long ago that we had a friend and neighbor in Sharlayan, and so I clung to the hope that she might yet lend us her strength. But when she forsook Dravania, it would seem she forsook us all. Alright, In order to avoid conflict with Garlemald, the Forum went so far as to order the abandonment of an entire city-state, right, in the hinterlands. Their refusal to aid us now is, I am sorry to say, entirely consistent with the historic position. And I think that there's more going on than we know. That little comment about the final days is interesting. Is it we who walk the path of ruin? Time will tell. Alize? So that's what he came here to say? That we're all fools for having the temerity to defend ourselves against the Telophoroi? And as for the rest, like it or not, this was the Forum's decision, to watch from afar while Eorzea burns. Father was but the messenger, and as he handed down their judgment, I could think of nothing to say that could possibly sway him. I still can't. To prolong the discussion would have changed little, for it is not only Master Fortuneau who must be persuaded, but the Forum as a whole. Their decision was made ere your father crossed the sea. Nor is it like to be changed, and so we shall face the Telophoroi without their aid. Forgive me, but if they had no intention of helping us, then why would they go to the trouble of sending an envoy in the first place? Yeah, couldn't they have just said that in like a letter or something? Why did not simply keep their counsel as they are wont to do? Or just not said anything? Just basically gone silent. Aye, has Master Fortuneau arrived yet? Then it is as I feared. My efforts were in vain. I pleaded our case to as many Forum members as I could, but they flatly refused to discuss the matter. No, that's not exactly true. I should say that they ignored every word I said on the subject, without exception. It was almost unnerving. Could it be that they are hiding something from us? That might go some way to explain Master Fortuno's performance. When he said that they would know if the final days were truly upon us, I dismissed it as pride. But what if they genuinely believe that they know how the world will end, and simply disagree with us about the circumstances? That I don't know, but something tells me they are not as unconcerned about the Telophoroi as they claim. If the threat weren't real, why else would they be so standoffish and secretive? I would very much like to delve deeper into this, but I'm afraid I've exhausted at every avenue of inquiry. Nor have I fared any better with my other mission, researching Hydaelyn and the Ethereal Sea. I tried enlisting the help of experts in the field, but it appears the Forum has forbidden anyone from cooperating with us. Something else is going on. Has to be. Obstructed at every turn. So it would seem, but don't lose heart just yet. With all the knowledge and acquaintances we have between us, we can still find a way forward. To that end, I would like you all to join me here. When the time is right, of course. I am aware that matters in Eorzea stand on a knife edge, but with your permission, I can at least start making the necessary arrangements. Please do. Yeah. Excellent. Obviously, keeping the Telophoroi at bay must take precedence. With luck, you'll be able to make the journey to Sharlayan ere long. It may take a while to secure entry for you, but I'll let you know when everything is in order. Look after yourselves in the meantime, won't you? Your speculations give me cause to hope, yet if these seeds will bear fruit, I cannot say. While it is possible that the Sharlayans hide some secret truth from us, there can be no certainty that its exposure will prompt them a change of heart. And so for the present, we must needs confront the plight in which we find ourselves. The Forum has refused our request for aid, and it falls to us alone to contend with the Telophoroi. Even with all of Eorzea standing united, there is no guarantee that we will prevail. What does Sharlayan intend to do if we fail? Stick their head in the sand, most like. Spell speed? No. Critical hit, bite, and skill speed? Yeah, chicken fettuccine. Ooh. Flat, thick pasta smothered in a rich cream sauce with tender slices of chicken thigh. Sounds delicious. Alright. Any other more comments? With their knowledge, Sharlayan could have done so much for the cause. They could have helped us to uncover the secrets of the towers and save the tempered captives within, and yet, gods. Yeah, very frustrated. From my childhood, I remember grandfather arguing with my father over Sharlayan's policy of non-intervention, and this time it was my turn to play the role. But even if my grandfather could not win him over, what chance had I? Oh, but if even my grandfather could not have won him over, what chance had I? If words exist that may sway him, I know not what they are. I think a painful and imminent destruction is probably the only thing that will dislodge that particular rock. The Forum includes representatives from all of Sharlayan's central institutions. With them hindering Kral's investigation, she will struggle to make any headway on her own. Yep. Alright. Next. Death unto Dawn. Connie Sinis seems determined not to let the disappointment of Sharlayan's rejection distract her from the task at hand. Ooh, the Shushimo. Nice. While Sharlayan stands is indeed disappointing, we cannot allow ourselves to be distracted from the challenge before us. There is much and more to be done. I shall begin by sharing the Forum's response to my counterparts in the Alliance. Meanwhile, I would ask that the Scions... Grave tidings, walking ones. Grave tidings. Oh. Still. Calm yourself, my gentle friend. What has occurred? The ones who we sent to see feathered ones send terrible news. Destroying ones have appeared in Zelphatol. Destroying ones and captured ones and even frightful godly ones. Feathered ones didn't stand a chance and were sent flapping and squawking. When did this happen? Is it too late to help them? Too late, yes, much too late, but luckily destroying ones were only passing through and continued on west. Feathered ones who did not fight were left unharmed. West. That would be Kurthus. They're heading for Ishgard? My lady, the Ishgardians report that the Telophoroi have emerged from the eastern highlands of Kurthus and are marching at speed. Though their purpose is yet to be determined, the Cartano Flats would seem their most likely destination. Lord Emmerich has already dispatched his forces and requests our immediate support. Oh, Cartano Flats. That's where Delamud fell, Bahamut emerged, all that stuff. Tell him he shall have it. The time has come for the Grand Company of Eorzea to prove its worth. Well, mayhap it is a mercy that we do not have time to stew upon our misfortunes. Come, my friends, let us make haste to Cartano. Wait, this one almost forgot. Destroying ones were said to be led by Cackling Robed One. Ugh. Van Daniel. This one must see that all walking ones know. Farewell. Van Daniel? Indeed. Who else? It was only a matter of time before that grinning maniac showed himself again. I shall have an airship ready to bear you to Cartano. Pray see to your preparations and report to the landing with all haste. At once, my lady. Let us away. Right then. Sounds like we got a fight on our hands. But that will be for next time. So, for now, we'll stop here for today. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.